Hi everyone, it's Lisa here with Ink and Inspirations. Thank you for tuning in. It's Friday evening and so glad to be here live. And I'm going to say I put a question out there and I know it was kind of late, but my internet connection is not great right now. I don't know if it's overloaded or what, but I rely on my cell service for my internet. And there's a tower very close, but I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But anyway, I know there is a lot of traffic on the internet right now, so I'm thinking that's probably what's going on. So I apologize in advance if it's blurring and going in and out, but I enjoy the back and forth and seeing you pop in too much to not do the live. How's everybody doing today? It's supposed to be 28 here in the morning. Crazy, I know. I didn't come out to the studio today until about 4. I don't know. I start piddling in the house and I know I want to come out here and it's just before I know it, it's late afternoon. So that's why I'm a little bit later today. So if you're here watching, thank you. If you're watching the replay, appreciate it. A card today and then a little treat that you could use for Easter. And you could mail it. It won't be flat, but it's not like a box. It's like a little wrap that would be easier to mail, like in a mailer, like, something like a padded mailer like this, and be flat and it be okay when it got there and not smushed. So I thought, that's what I need to do if you have grandkids or nieces or nephews that live off, and you want to send them something. I have a bag of Skittles here that is ancient. I use it for my projects, so I know, what's going to fit. And I always warn Jackie, do not eat the candy in my craft room. You don't know how long it's been there. But anyway, this little Skittles or little M&Ms is going to fit in that today. We're going to do that last. This is the card we're going to be making. I'm thinking, now's the time, and I've said this 100 times, I know, but you can't visit, or you shouldn't visit, or they were suggesting you don't visit. And so a card is like sending a hug in the mail, don't you think? So anyway, these images are from the Tags and Bloom set, and it is one of the new celebration. I say new, the newer ones that don't visit. Yes, right, Kristen. That's my daughter, the nurse, saying don't visit. It's a level 2, so it's like free with $100 purchase, but it is gorgeous. And it has some very appropriate sentiments in there. Yeah, send cards, right, Chris? And look, I miss your face. How sweet. But I'm doing sending hugs today, okay? And it coordinates with 2 punches that are in the spring catalog. But this one right here, the Label Me Fancy punch, I believe that's which one it is. Don't quote me. It's either Label Me Fancy or Label Me Lovely. I think it's Fancy. This one is on back order, the one this shape. But I'm using this one today, and you can see the outline of that stamp, so that would go well with that. Thank you, Liz. Okay, so let's get started, shall we? And I've got stuff everywhere, so, what did I do with my stuff? I had it all, here it is. Okay, so I decided to go with the Parisian Blossoms Designer Series paper, Specialty Designer Series paper. It's beautiful. It has that metallic, okay? And I thought the floral would go well with this little floral. And so I'm starting with a piece of Pool Party cardstock, and I cut it at 4 1/4 by 11 and scored it at 5 1/2. And I gave it a good crease with my bone folder. And that is ready to go. I'm going to set that aside. And then here is the Parisian Blossom paper, and it's going to fit right over top here. And I can go ahead and put this on because there's nothing, the layers are going to fit over top of that. And so, thank you, Liz. And so this is cut 4 by 5 1/4, which is my favorite size to put on top of a base of cardstock. Sometimes I cut using 1/8 inch, but because it just gives like a tiny border, and it really is pretty, but I do much better with 1/4 inches. And so this is really pretty. This would be gorgeous too with an 1/8 of an inch bigger layer underneath there, but we're going simple because, just because, that's how I like it. Okay, so there's that, and so we're going to set that aside now. Okay. Thank you, Linda. Yes, Pam, it's beautiful. Okay, so now I have a piece of the champagne foil, and it's cut 2.5 by 5 1/4. And then a piece of petal pink that is cut at 2 by 5 1/4. And I don't know if you can see there, but it is embossed with my second favorite embossing folder, Scripty, okay? So Scripty is just a script, and it's beautiful, it's subtle, and to me it kind of goes with everything, just kind of like the subtle embossing folder. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and glue this over top. You can see when I cut and measured, they're both 5 1/4. I like that look. This is one of my favorite card designs because I think it really shows off the designer paper, and then this pops up off of it, okay? And so let's go ahead and put some liquid glue on the back of this strip, 2 by 5 1/4 of petal pink. Sometimes I talk so fast, my words get all jumbled up. I know y'all have noticed that. But anyway, there we go. Okay, so see, puts a really pretty border. If you just had a little bit of this designer paper, then you could just cut like a 1/2 inch strip and glue it behind, okay, because you know you don't see any of this. Okay, the dimensions for the petal pink are 2 by 5 1/4, and for the champagne foil, the back layer is 2 1/2 by 5 1/4, okay? All right, so I'm gonna set that aside, and then we're gonna do some stamping. I guess I'll go ahead and do this because if I don't, I will forget to add the ribbon like I did the other day. But this is in the annual catalog. I forget the name of it. I think it's organza, striped organza and petal pink. And I can't even find my roll of it. Hello, Lisa. It's somewhere. Anyway, I have a whole roll. And I was going to use the petal pink metallic edge ribbon. Here it is. It is organdy striped ribbon. I was right. Petal pink. I was going to use the metallic edged ribbon, but it is on back order. So I thought this goes well with this. And this is 15 inches of this ribbon. And I'm just going to tie a knot, okay? Okay, I'm not going to jinx myself, but I've been watching my video on the laptop, and it looks pretty clear. Is it pretty clear to you? You're welcome, Elizabeth, or Liz. Okay, here we go. Okay, so there, see that I've got a lot extra, but you don't want to be tying into little ends. Give yourself plenty of room. And then I'm going to trim this at an angle, and then this little layer will be ready to set aside, and we'll get to the stamping. It feels so good to be in here making a card, y'all. I just got to turn that TV off and quit watching Facebook or whatever. I mean, you know, not quit watching, craft watch, but, oh, great, Liz. Woohoo! Yay! Okay. All right. I don't know what I did differently. It's the internet. It's good today. Great. Okay, so let's set this aside. I'm going to put that over here. Great, Linda. Thank you. And so today, for no special reason, I picked shimmery white cardstock. I really thought I was going to color with Stampin' Blends, and our shimmery white cardstock is pretty with that. So, but it's two-step stamping with this stamp. And so what I'm going to do, I'll show you, is get Memento Black Ink. And I'm going to ink this up. And I probably need to get my, if I can find it. Y'all, my desk is horrible. I mean, horrible. And you think I have more of, you know, my little pad, let's go. It's probably right in front of my nose and I just don't see it. Anyway, I'm gonna make the best. I've got a big pad here, so it should do well. But really with photopolymer stamps, because we don't have that rubber, our red rubber that cushions it, it's good to have a cushion underneath there like our Stampin' Pierce mat. Okay? Okay, so now I'm going to just stamp this. And I didn't have to use black, but since there is some black in the designer paper, I thought it would be okay and go well with it. If you're just tuning in, thank you for watching. We're having a good time stamping and making cards that we can send right now. Sending hugs through the mail. Okay, so now I want my flowers petal pink. So I have this long block here, and you can see the two blooms here are on the same stamp. And so I put that on in the center, and I'm going to use my petal pink ink. And I might not even have to make a new video if it's all clear. People don't mind chatter usually, especially right now, huh? We got a lot of time. Okay, so I'm centering it over that blossom, okay? And I'm gonna stamp. Okay, bam. All right, now I decided to use So Saffron, because I wanted it pale colors, didn't want anything bright here. So Saffron, which is one of our subtles. And this is the center here. It's got lots of curly cues on the bottom of it. That's how you can tell it's a solid image. And I'm going to stamp it right there in the center. Okay. Now we have our leaves, and again with the green, I went with Pear Pizzazz. Okay. All right, so then I've got a study coming here. So that's gonna go like this, okay, over those leaves there. It's 3 little leaves, 3 little green pieces, I should say. It's not all leaves. Oh, I need some more ink. Don't you love photopolymer, how you can see where you're stamping? Hey, Catherine, how are you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Okay, there is that. And then I'm going to take these 2 little leaves on this end of the block and stamp. Okay, good to go. And I don't stress about if there's some white spaces. That's good. It's an original, right? Okay. All right. So we've got that done. And so what I did next is I wanted it to really pop off of this petal pink here. And so this was not going to do it for me. Okay, so I'm doing fussy cutting. I've got ink on my hands. I need to wipe. All right. So again, when I fussy cut, I don't go exactly on the line so that I don't mess it up and cut part of the image. Leave just a little bit around the edge. Sort of like when you die cut, how the dies leave a little bit around the edge. Most of them do anyway. Okay, and you remember to turn your paper is easier than trying to do your scissors back and forth, okay? I mean, you do move your scissors, but you see how my left hand is taking the paper, the cardstock, and moving it like this? And I'm, you know, pressing down. Okay. And I should explain a lot more than I do sometimes on the live, what I'm doing. I'm a little bit more organized today, believe it or not. But because I have a lot of new stampers that have emailed me about things, and you know, if we've been doing this a long time, you can assume, or you just take certain things for granted. And you know, I'm still learning. I've been doing this for almost 14 years. I'm still learning. So I just want to share in case it's helpful for someone. And even if it's just one person, that's worth it. Okay? All right, so now I need a scrap piece of Petal Pink. Okay, and I'm going to use my Memento Black Ink and I don't think I Miss Your Face will be in there. Hi, Diana. Thank you. I hope you're feeling better. Okay, so here it is. Sending hugs. I'm going to do the sending hugs. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment first. Not that that's easier. I'm going to stamp when I did the first card, I stamped the sentiment first, and then an afterthought was to go back with the frame. I'm going to try it the other way this time. There's the frame, and that matches one of the punches. And then center. Okay, let me take this off. I can't see. Okay. All righty. Okie doke. So now I'm going to take that punch. I need to look that up and see. Okay, so I'm going to show you another little trick here. You see how the cardstock is not big enough? Okay, so what you do is you get a scrap strip, or just find something that's long enough, and take your snail, put some there, and just put it behind there, okay, like that. And that way you have a handle, okay, to hold it. And I still need to trim a little bit so that it'll go in all the way. And when I was supposed to try a punch for someone today, I forgot. I need to do that. Bam. Okay, that's trash. Okay, so there's that. And then that's going to go right there. Don't you love that? I think it's so pretty and sweet. Okay, let's use Stampin' Dimensionals. Thanks for sharing, Diana. Stampin' Dimensionals, and pull the little paper off. Center that right there. And then let's assemble, okay? So super simple. You're just going to center this. You're going to eyeball it and put it in the middle of that designer paper. Thank you, Pam. So fun to create. Oh, all right. And I love y'all's comments. So encouraging and sweet. Thank you all so much for just being here. Gosh. just being here. Okay, so this is going to go here, and I'm just going to use glue to put it down like that, okay? Alrighty, let's do this. And there you go. And then you can finish off the inside of the card however you want. I usually put 4 by 5 1/4 piece of Whisper White on the inside so I can write my message. And I'll usually find a stamp that I like, small, that I can kind of frame it out with, okay? There is the card, and we're going to do a quick treat thing too, just a minute. So I hope you like that. These are on back order right now, but I had some, so I may use some of these rhinestones just to scatter a little bit, to add a little bling, or you could leave it just like that, okay? Okay, good, Diana. Yeah, you get rest and get well. Okay, let's put that aside. And then I have not even done a sample of the other one. I just know what I'm doing. I mean, I know the project. And I hope I know what I'm doing. Okay? All right, so it's going to be about the right size for little mini Skittles or M&Ms or some of those little small candy bars for Easter. And again, I designed, I've done this one before, but it's a remake of one I've done that is more flat, and if you put it in a mailer, it's going to not crush it. It'll be okay when it gets to the recipient. And so I have a piece, starting with a piece of, this is Seaside Spray cardstock. Now I chose this because I don't know that I've ever used this color, but maybe once. Hey, Carol. And so this is cut, let me get my notes, 3 by 8.5. Okay, so you can get 3 of these out of 1 sheet of cardstock. All right, so 3 by 8.5. And we're going to put the 8.5-inch side up at the top of our Simply Scored. And we're going to score at 1 1/2 and 5 1/2. Okay? All right. So now we're going to take this and we're going to just fold and burnish on those score lines. This really is a pretty color, and it's pastel, so it's great for Easter. Okay, like that. Let me show you. See, just the right size, and it's not flat, but almost. Okay, mails very easily. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is we have these 2 folds, okay, and we're going to string ribbon through 2 little holes we're going to cut here, and that's the closure for the treat wrap, okay? So I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm going to just cut in on that fold about midway, okay? I'm just eyeballing it. It doesn't have to be real big. The ribbon I'm using is a little larger than what I would normally use, a little thicker, so I'm cutting in a little bit more, but once you get your ribbon in there, see, it's kind of like takes a dip in, but that's not going to show. You're going to get your ribbon in there. It's going to be pretty, okay? So just cut a little slit, and you can cut it really narrow if you want to. See how I started it there? And then you can come on the inside and just snip along that fold line, okay? And you don't want it too big, but you want it big enough, okay? So now I am using some of this. This is Seaside Spray Scalloped Linen Ribbon. It's so pretty. And so it's in the annual catalog. That's pretty big. I could probably cut that a little bigger than I should have. Okay, there is a right and wrong side to this ribbon, and I want this side to be on top, so I'm going to thread it through like this. If you wanted just the linen to show, you could use just this side, okay? So it's like reversible. There's nothing wrong with the other side, but I want the Seaside Spray trim to show. So let's get this through. All right, and then, and this is cut, I think I cut it 15 inches, but you want to cut it 15 to 18, okay, depending on how much you need down here to tie a knot, all right? But that's going to be the closure there, okay? So I want to go over that ribbon, and that's going to kind of hold it in place, but so that I don't get a little frustrated with my ribbon moving around, I'm putting a little bit of snail and then holding it down like that, okay? So to go over top, with whatever cardstock you choose, just find some matching designer paper. And this is the In Color stack, you know, with the different prints. Hey, Desiree. And so, but another way of doing this is choose what designer paper, what pattern paper you want to use, and then find a color in the pattern paper and use that for your base, okay? Okay, so we're gonna just glue that right over top, and I'm gonna use snail and hope that it stays down. And the reason I say that is because this is pretty thick ribbon, and if you, I probably, if it had to really travel a long way, or if it was going to get handled a lot, I would probably use liquid glue and hold it down, or you could use tear-in tape around the edge there, okay? All right, so let's just center that like that, okay? And then this, what I usually do here is I put a little bit of snail on the inside just to kind of hold that in place, okay? Either your M&Ms or your Skittles or whatever. And then you can tie this, and then we're gonna decorate the front just really quickly. What time is it? 6:30, okay. Doing good. All right, let's tie this. Okay. I want the right side to show, but I'm not going to stress over it right now. I may retie it later, but I'm going to trim and call it good. Okay? All right, now for the little decoration, I stamped this little lamb from the Welcome Easter stamp set. And you could use the chick or the bunny, but this one was already stamped, so I thought I'm gonna go ahead and use the lamb. I don't think I've used it yet. And that is, I believe that's the 2-inch circle. Yes, 2-inch, 1, 2. And I may back that with a 2 1/4 inch circle of something. I don't know what yet, but let's go ahead and get this little guy ready. So what I decided here is not to use Seaside Spray or a blue on him, because that's predominantly what we have here. So I decided to go with something else fun. So I have Dark Daffodil Delight and Stampin' Blends. This is stamped in Memento Black Ink. And so I am going to color his bow, tie yellow, I say his. Okay, and then I'm going to go and do the nose in Petal Pink, although it's probably should be gray or black, but I wanted a little bit more color. Okay, and then I think I'm going to get light smoky slate. I'm going to try this for the little feet. Okay, and then I'm going to get the Petal Pink again and just kind of color the little inside of the ear right there. Just a little color. Then for the rest of our little lamb, I'm taking the clear Wink of Stella glitter brush and just brushing it over and you can go over the whole thing, even what you colored with the Stampin' Blends, the alcohol markers. Okay. Look how cute. See, he's so shimmery. I think you can see that. Okay. And then I'm going to back it with something because he needs to stand out a little bit from the rest of that. And if I have enough, and I think I do, of the shimmer glimmer paper, is that what it's called? I don't know. I forget. Let's do that. Yeah. That's fun. Okay. We'll do with that. Diana, if you have your catalog there, would you look up and see what this glimmer paper is called? It's in the annual catalog. If you can't, it's okay if you can't find it. But if you can, or anybody, tell me what it's called. Okay. See, that's pretty. All right. Anyway, you can do this little treat wrap in with any kind of image, color, paper, you know, and it's ready and it's cute, and you can send it for Easter. And if you want to, you could do the Happy Easter or Have a Wonderful Easter and cut it apart and put it down here. Or when you open up the inside, you could put the sentiment there, okay? So just an option, just an idea for you. Okay, so there's our treat wrap and the Sending Hugs card from the, let's see if I can find my stamp set. Yeah. From the Tags and Bloom set, okay? And I hope you enjoy those ideas. I will have all the details up later, okay? It may be tomorrow before I get it done, but I'll do that and give it a try and enjoy some crafting time and then share the love, all right? Okay, if you have any questions, put them here. Shimmery white, thank you, Diana. This is shimmery white glimmer paper. Thank you, Diana. All right, so if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you for sharing, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. And I'm sorry I can't tell you what time, because I don't know what time I'll get out here, but hope to share again. You're welcome, Pam. Thanks so much. Y'all have a good evening. Good night.